We're live. Woohoo.
Oh, hey, that's good.
Oh, I didn't see you there.
It'd be pretty boring if we were not live, right? Weekend at Bernie's episode, we're just like, and then it just cuts back and forth.
Well, I've been living here in Germany for 3 years or so.
Jesus, it's been that long.
And yeah, yeah. And I've had this list that I've been compiling over time on like differences between the US and Germany. And I thought, yeah, maybe it's time to have a little lighthearted, fun episode that will almost assuredly roll back to our
Yeah.
uh usual suspects. But um like people ask me a lot, like, do you have like culture shock? And not really. Like I don't think there's that much of a difference in the culture altogether.
Not
Just
enough to
superficial,
really make you feel weird.
right.
I think like maybe if you move to Vietnam, like one of my friends did,
Mm-hmm.
there would be a bit of a culture shock. Um,
Yeah.
but
So I mean, just as a first one to highlight how like superficial some of these differences are, plastic bottles here, the lid is always attached.
huh?
Um,
Why don't we do
Now,
that in the U.S.? That actually is just makes sense.
I mean, like now, yeah, from a recycling standpoint, like, the lids, they almost never let you recycle those in the
No.
US, right?
Yep. You
And
have to
that's
take
just
the lids
because
off.
they're too small and they fall through the conveyor belts and shit. But when they're
Yeah.
attached, I mean, they are recyclable, right?
Hmm.
So from that standpoint, that does make sense. However, there's a couple things that I don't know are a little annoying, and it's like always
Oh
up,
yeah.
up in your nose, or like,
Yeah.
you know, and I wouldn't have thought of this on my own, but somebody in a wheelchair had mentioned to me they're not really ADA compliant.
Mm.
Um, it because the nature of it being attached, it's not exactly easy to put it back on. You might have
Yeah.
seen me being like, I've got like a maneuver now that
Hmm.
and if you don't really have dexterity anymore, there's good luck.
Yeah. Well, and I think some of those things like that type of lid is kind of an interesting idea, but I don't think it ought to be government mandated, right? Like the and I don't know if it is in that. Maybe it's just that's the way they do it over there. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was some kind of mandate. And I'll tell you one in the US, one of the most infuriating government mandates when it comes to like eco shit um, is gas cans. I don't know, like maybe in Germany they're not quite this stupid, but in the US, gas cans have to have like this eco spigot spout thing that you have to like twist and push, and you could barely get it to work. Like I have spilled more gas using one of those than my old, because I do keep an old one around that has like the classic kind of, I guess, bendy straw type thing that pulls out.
Yeah.
And that never spills.
Yeah.
Never have an issue. Like the only issue is it could be a little bit longer for certain situations. But other than that, like yeah, it doesn't drip, it doesn't spill, it pours just fine. It's very simple. But the eco things, man, I have
Are they meant more for like the vapor lock?
I don't even know what the actual purpose is, but it's basically so it doesn't spill if you just leave it unattended and a dog comes and kicks it over. I don't know what the purpose is, but like the like it's this weird contraption that you have to twist, and it's unclear as to how exactly it operates, and usually it kind of just trickles out, like dribbles out barely, and so you twist it more, and you're like, well, am I doing it wrong? I pull back or whatever, and then all of a sudden you hear a snap, and now it's busted.
Oh, jeez.
So two things: one, now you're left with gas pouring all over the place, and two, now you have a busted thing, and you got to throw it away and get another one.
That's
It,
great for the environment.
yeah, absolutely, of course, it's
Now,
totally perfect. Captain
I
Planet would
doubt
be happy.
I doubt they have anything like that here, even though it's a very eco-friendly country.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you why, because the gas stations here don't even have the vapor lock on the pump. So
Mm-hmm.
like you just put the pump in the car just like it back in the 80s or 90s, and it's just fumes coming up in your face. And it's like, hmm, it's kind of unpleasant.
Yeah, I mean, the auto stop is really the biggest one, because that definitely could be a problem.
They have that at least.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. But well, and it just goes to show that not every government solution is wise. Uh, that maybe like keep it simple, stupid might be a better mo. Um, well, because here's the thing too: when it comes to those gas cans in the U.S., you could buy a gas can, because obviously, maybe you might know, if you buy a different colored one, you probably want like a yellow one or a red one, depending on what type of fuel you have. Um, but you can buy the water ones, and they have the old, just simple spout configuration that doesn't leak and doesn't break and just pours, right? It just comes out. So you can get the gas can and then get a water thing that is perfectly compatible,
Huh,
slap it in there, and away you go. It's like the 90s all over again.
nice.
Um, and so it's like, well, everybody knows this. you know, well, in the in Washington State too, there's other things coming up with regards to 3D printing that's highly draconian, and probably illegal, but they're going to push it through anyway. It's Washington State. I think New York and some other states have similar things, like, because I guess people 3D print guns or something, which, yeah, right. uh, and
I mean, if that were happening in abundance, you'd think it would be happening here in Germany, somewhere where it's not so easy to get a gun.
exactly, yeah.
But no, yeah.
No, it's not. And because it isn't happening it's anywhere, because, well, only an idiot would 3D print a gun, like a full gun, because it poses more of a risk to you, the user, than it does to the target. Like, unless you are really, really, really careful and you do things exactly right, there's a whole bunch of processes and things you have to do. And then maybe you might get a gun that could fire 10 rounds before it starts failing. So, like, what's the point? You can go to the hardware store and do that with a gun that will actually work and hold up.
Mm.
No, it goes deeper than that. Like, I don't know, but anyway, we're here today to talk about differences between countries and everything. Um,
Well, further on gas here in Germany, just if you ever visit and you go to put gas in your car, it's called benzene here. And if you see
huh?
gas, that's hydrogen. So
Oh yeah, no, that
I
makes
I
sense.
I pulled up and I saw gas and I was like, oh, that's and I get out and I was like, that's a funny looking adapter. And I was like, oh, wait,
Mm-hmm.
that's not right.
Actually, if you think about it, like, because UK, it's petrol, uh,
Yeah.
and probably some other places, interesting differences, but like, it does kind of make sense. Um, I like gas is kind
Petroleum.
of, huh?
Petroleum,
Petroleum, yeah,
petrol
yeah,
makes sense. And
yeah.
benzene, that's the like the actual chemical name.
Well, there's octane, and so octane, like, you see those numbers on the pumps, and that's like
Mhm.
the proportion of octane contained within the fuel.
Mhm.
And so there's various other things. It's kind of complicated, but it's basically octane, um, hydrocarbon thing. But gas is kind of a dumb term if you think about it. Like, why do we
Yeah.
call it gas? It should just be called fuel, right? Like, maybe that's the easy way, the right way. I don't know.
Now I've got an earworm. Heavy Fuel by fuck. Uh, I want my MTV.
See, now you've contaminated me. You've done it. It's contagious.
I've
It'll
got the
just
song in my head. I can't
no,
remember the
I know,
fucking
I know.
name.
It'll yeah. Oh man, I want to say like Mike and the Mechanics, but it's not.
No,
Um,
no. Um, Damn it.
Jesus. Well,
Mark Knopfler. I remember the fucking guitarist name.
you don't remember the band name. Oh my god.
Dire Straits. Shit.
Dire Straits. That's right. Yep, yep.
Jesus Christ.
I remember the first time I heard that song, the Money for Nothing or whatever. Um, it like I was at the dentist's office, and when they did work, they'd give you headphones that had like a stereo connection. It wasn't all fancy like it is today, but you could listen to the radio, and that song came on, and I was like, "Hey, this is a cool song," you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, like there's because a lot of this I think came up because we were talking about taxes, and my gripes with government in the U.S. and in particular Washington State and how because like they'll say politicians will be like, oh, the cost of living it's so high, I'm going to try to do something about it. And the latest crop of governor that spawned on the scene, he said the same thing and then promptly proceeded to pass through the most like the largest tax hike in Washington state history. um, and there's a guy, I can't remember his name, but he did some math, like trying to calculate what like expenses and things like that, and he came to the conclusion when he put it all together that about half of your income gets spent, well, half of everything you spend money on is tax. So that's kind of a big deal, and it's really annoying because like I drive around, there's fucking potholes everywhere, the roads are terrible, like it just in general it's awful. And I'm like, where's that money going? Also, like students going to school, they can't fucking read. Like
Yeah.
math is terrible. Like, okay, well, why are you asking for more money? Well, not asking, in fact, demanding. Because once something passes, I have to pay it. It's compulsory. I don't have a choice. But it's like, hey, I get, when in Rome, as an anarchist, I'll still accept the fact that like I gotta work within the confines, like the rules of society and stuff like that. I can, I'll say what I want about it, but when it comes down to it, like, okay, I'll pay my taxes just like I'm expected to. I'll follow the rules just like I'm expected to. But it's very annoying when you're paying so much and getting almost nothing in return. Like,
Mm.
where is all that money going?
Well, people, a lot more people should be pissed about that
Mm,
because it really is like a waste problem.
yeah.
Because, you know, people are constantly conditioned to think, oh, we can't have all these things that other countries have because, like, where's the money going to come from? We're already paying so much, and 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 it's like, well, yeah, you're paying a lot already, but it's all wasted. Like you're not
Yeah.
getting enough out of it, so that like realistically, what you're paying in America is kind of like more than what Europeans pay,
I,
and you're getting way less.
yes,
like
yes. I know.
like that's the difference between like efficiency and like technically, depending on your income and your marriage status or whatever, here in Germany, your paycheck will be reduced by anywhere between 30 to 45%.
Mhm.
Um, like sliding scale sort of thing. Um, and like shit, you have everything. Basically, like you
Yeah.
don't have to worry about uh going hungry, becoming homeless, like none of that is a problem. Like, is there bureaucracy and paperwork that you got to
In
jump through?
Germany,
Of course.
absolutely. Yeah.
Like,
Like,
like if you can jump through the hoops, you don't have to worry about anything.
but
um
and there are other like Sweden,
yeah,
like those countries,
they're
the
pretty
Nordic countries,
similar, like a little bit higher tax than Germany, but
higher tax, but it's very explicitly geared for certain
mhm,
things. And
mhm.
what here's the thing, like I think the prime minister or president of Norway or whatever years ago was it got all pissed off because somebody was like, "Oh, they're socialist," and he's like, "We are absolutely not socialist. We're capitalist through and through, but we just have very high taxes to pay for things we consider to be important, like education and medicine and stuff like that, like roads, and like we're willing to do that."
Right.
And that's fine. I get it. I'd be fine paying a lot of money. I think it's way too much. We like the amount of money, the tax money that people in the US pay ought to be able to basically pave the streets with gold. Um,
Right.
like the people, your homeless people would be eating steaks and shit like that. Like we have the resources to be able to do that. So I don't know where all this resource, where like the loss is
Yeah.
happening.
The infrastructure in America is horribly inefficient. Everything about it. Like, here in Germany, uh there's efficiency everywhere you look. And sometimes it might be annoying to have to do things for yourself or whatever. Like you go to the grocery store, you're bagging your own groceries. Like,
That's
and
fine.
it's fast and it's super fucking fast, right?
I
Like you're
prefer
just
that
like
because, yep,
it's like, whoa, shit.
I prefer that because there's nothing I can't stand more than like standing, waiting in line at a grocery store and they're
Mm,
bagging all slow. Like
yeah.
people, I love self checkout. By the way, like I only go to self checkout whenever I can, because it's like I can be lickety split and I get in and out. That's kind of my mo for shopping. Is like
It
I have
would
a
be
list.
fast if you didn't have to do one thing at a time and then place it in the
Oh yeah.
weighing
Mm-hmm.
zone. Like I'm constantly like take a couple yogurts, be like boop boop, and it's like, wait, you didn't
Yeah.
put the thing in the zone first, and it's like, oh, beep
Oh, I
beep
know.
beep.
That is annoying. And then see, like I go to Fred Meyer, and Fred Meyer has like this AI camera system. And sometimes I'll do the same thing. I'll because I get like, I'll have a stack of these tuna packets or something, and I'll scan them kind of quick and toss them in. And then it's all like, oh, an associate is coming to help you. And I'm like,
Yeah,
or and then
that takes
and then it
forever.
then it shows like a video of me scanning it, and it's like, oh, there was some kind of problem. I'm like, yeah, the problem is your AI is too goddamn slow. Like it can't keep up with me. That's the problem. But you're right. You should be able to just kind of scan things, drop it in there, get out. Like I'm a get in, get out kind of person when it comes to shopping. Like I have, it's like a tactical operation. I like it's all planned out in my head. Even my shopping list is ordered by where things are located within the store, so I can be as efficient as possible.
Yeah.
And like, yeah. Anyway, um,
So like like what percentage of your paycheck include, like, I'm assuming you pay into the health insurance too, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so like what percentage of that is just kind of gone to tax and health?
Um, probably about 30-ish.
Yeah.
That's when I get a paycheck, at the receipt of like, okay, they paid me this much and they took this much out. It's
Right.
about
Right.
30%. But then it's like all the other taxes add up to way more than that.
Yeah.
Every time
And
I
then
buy gas.
so like talking about efficiency, let's just take health insurance as an example then. Like basically I would say I might be paying maybe 5% more from
Mhm.
my paycheck to get um tax and health insurance coverage.
Yeah.
Well, you're paying 30, I'm about 35 maybe. And then but when I go to the doctor, I'm not paying a co-pay. I'm not paying co-insurance, except for like a rare situation where it's like something elective, like, oh, I just want to see what my vitamin D is like right now, like,
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
no particular medical reason or something. Then I'd pay a little bit for that. But um, you know, uh, I pay nothing else. Like it's just out of sight, out of mind. If I need to go to the doctor, I need to go to the doctor, and that's all there is to it. Whereas if you wanted to go to the doctor, oh, you gotta shell
Yep.
out $30 right there just for going,
Yeah.
and that just goes who
Well,
knows where.
and I can't go to any doctor, right? It's
Right.
got to be within the circle of whatever.
Exactly. And then like people say there's like all these crazy wait times here in Europe. I can go same day each time. Like
Mhm.
that's kind of like the norm for, your general family doctor. Specialists are of course a different thing because it's a bottleneck situation. There's
Yeah,
only
yeah,
a few specialists
that
and
makes sense. Yeah,
people, like that's going to be the same everywhere in the world.
yeah,
But
even in the
as
U.S.
far as like going to the doctor, I don't have to wait a week.
Mhm. Now there are situations that like that has happened because it isn't a perfect system. There are inefficiencies within it. It's way too bureaucratic. It should be very very easy. And this is where I guess I diverge with my anarchist self in that I think, well, I'm being taxed anyway. It's like come hell or high water, they're taking it from me.
Yeah.
So I'd like it to do something productive. I want society to be benefited by this. Like
Right.
everybody should be able to just go to a doctor. Um, like if you're in trouble, you should be able to just get some assistance. Like no questions asked. Like, oh well, shit. You ran into a sticky situation, we'll help you. And it comes out from the community. Like we're all working together. Um, and,
Right.
and like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Um,
Being healthy to me is part of freedom. Like,
yeah.
like if you're not fit to like do what you want, even though there are plenty of resources available, like talk about post scarcity, right? Like
Mhm.
there's plenty of resources available to make it so the things that kind of knock you on your ass shouldn't really be knocking you on your ass.
Yeah.
And if it does
I,
knock you on your ass, you should be able to like recuperate and relax without worrying about losing your job too. But that's like
I
another conversation.
no, I completely get that. Because I would say, in my opinion, it makes sense to have a system that's very kind of lean and mean and is focused on those like big things, right?
Yeah.
Like heart attacks, cancer, shit like that, like a car accident or something. This is where the community should help, right? But the day-to-day things, oh, you could pay out of pocket to go to a doctor for just a kind of checkup, or like, oh, my arm is weird, and like, and then it would be cheap at that point. Like, I don't see like it's just
Yeah.
really annoying because we have the means to take care of people, and that, like, that's kind of a thing that I think about, is like, I want to take care of people, um, use the things I've learned, my experiences, take it all and put it to work to make
Mm.
the world a better place in some capacity. um, and it's very, I guess the thing is, it's very annoying to be extorted, taxes just taken against my will. Like, I didn't choose to be taxed.
Right.
But so, okay, well, here I am. I'm being taxed. It's like, it's like if you're born in the South as a black person, you're like, well, I guess I'm a slave, All right, well, you do what you can. Um, but like, so I'm being taxed. But the infuriating thing is that they're doing nothing at all. Like, all I'm seeing is bullshit. Like, these little things here, there, and then meanwhile, everybody in government, they're making fucking $400,000 a year, and being like, oh well, you're not giving enough. Like, the hell I am.
Right.
Don't get the fuck out of my face, bro.
Yeah.
Like, until now, I'm fine with paying people a bunch of money if they produce, right? Like,
Right.
if these systems provide what they're like promising to provide, yeah, okay, well, I guess you're a hero now, right? But they're not. They're doing just the bare minimum, if not the opposite, like the inverse of what we want.
Yeah.
Like, all this fucking tax money that I pay for gas tax is supposed to be fixing the roads, and the roads are just actively worse than, like, I remember back in the 90s, they would repave all the time, things would be fixed, there were barely any potholes, like, and now it's like you might as well be off-roading in the outback. And this
Yeah.
is a city. Like, how is that possible? Like, where does all this money and resources go?
Right. The whole insurance thing in America is just a fucking joke. Like you you probably think, oh, well, there's a handful of different companies that provide health insurance, so there's competition that'll keep the prices down, right? But do you really have competition? Because if you get your insurance through your workplace, they have a contract with a place. That's the place you're stuck going
Yeah,
with.
no, you're right. Like,
Otherwise, you're going to pay like several hundred, probably thousands now,
mm-hmm.
out of pocket each month to go with whoever you want to go with. And they
Yep.
all equally suck because they're all doing this thing where basically like they have everybody by the same stranglehold.
Mm-hmm.
They're manipulating prices within hospitals and doctors' offices and stuff, and all this like negotiating crap. And like
Oh
it's
yeah,
just a
yeah.
fucking mess. And
It
it's
it
and
totally
and
is.
your deductible, the fucking deductible alone, like how ridiculous is that? Like before they even do anything, even though
Mm-hmm.
you're paying them every month, before they pay anything, you have to pay out of pocket up to a certain amount,
Yep.
depending on your plan, could
So
be
why even
thousands.
pay? This is the thing. I don't. It would make more sense for me to just have like a high yield savings account that I take the exact same amount that I pay for insurance and just dump into there every month and hope for the best. Because
Yeah.
you're like, the thing is, yeah, no matter what, they're always going to find some kind of exception or reason to not pay for it. But if it's my money,
Mm.
I can choose to pay. I could be like, okay, well, I've got $70,000 in this account. I'll just draw from that and pay for this thing. Like, no, nobody's going to be like, oh, well, I don't know. Like, I
Yeah, it's so much simpler here, and we actually pay less. Um, when you like you were talking about when how you calculated how much you pay in tax, and it's
Mhm.
roughly half. Well, he should figure out how much you pay in fucking health insurance compared to,
Mhm.
other countries like Germany and Sweden and stuff because
Well, because actually, yeah, that's inclusive in the tax. And like you go to Sweden, it's like
kinda,
50,
yeah.
50-ish, something about half. It goes 40, 50%, something like that, depending. Um, but you don't have to deal with all the extra stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, that does kind of make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the idea of things being compulsory. That's just me. Like I want the option to opt out. I think people like if I want to go it alone and be like, well, I'll just take my chances. I want that option to where like, okay, I can opt out and then I'm on my own and I get no services for whatever I'm opting out from. Um, but it is kind of a good point that like basically in the US we're paying pretty much the same as what other countries like European countries are paying, and we're getting a shittier product.
Yeah.
It's like
Paying the same out of the paycheck, but
out
paying
of the
more if
yeah
you're using it, like,
overall, like at the end of the day, your bottom line, yeah, we
yeah.
pay a lot more, and ugh, I don't know how to fix that because we've talked about this a lot. It's like the whole entire system's so entrenched.
Yeah.
Like there's no way to
Yeah.
extricate ourselves from where we're at.
And here, insurance in general is a huge thing. Like, there's insurance for everything. Like,
Mhm.
like we've got legal insurance, and apparently you can even get that in the US. It's just I've never even heard of it until I came here. It's
Mhm.
completely rare for
Well,
somebody to have that in the
there is
US.
legal insurance in the U.S. There's a couple companies that for like concealed carry holders. So if you do have to use a firearm in self defense, like it's like they will provide lawyers that are
Hmm.
covered by your dues that you've paid, which makes sense because that's always kind of a little
Yeah.
thing spinning around in my head. It's like I carry a firearm for the good of the community, of my fellow human beings. Like it's my duty to have that. But if I ever have to use it, bet your ass the system is going to come at me like a fucking snowstorm,
Right.
and they're going to do everything to make me the bad guy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think having that kind of insurance is beneficial.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, there's even like personal liability insurance. It's just common for everyone to carry this. So like if you're visiting your neighbor and you trip and fall and break their glass table, your insurance will cover it. Like,
huh. I
you know,
kind of like that actually. That's a good.
yeah, like my wife is like, well, what happens if your dog just like gets off the leash and goes and bites somebody? It's like, well, honor system, you'd probably offer to pay for the medical bills, and as long
Mhm.
as it's not too much,
Mhm.
like, and that's just kind of how it is in the US. It's like, oh, that was shitty. Sorry, mate. Uh, but here it's just like, oh, you got insurance? Yep. Okay, cool. No harm, no foul.
Well, and that does sort of I can see the logic in that.
Yeah.
Um,
And
which
and it's like we do pay, you know, a few hundred a month in insurance and stuff, but like those things do come in handy.
well, it's kind of
Um,
like the last episode we did about body cams. That like
mhm,
it. What is $400 to $600 compared to like a lawsuit?
mhm.
Like
And I mean,
maybe.
that's the efficiency I'm talking about is like, you know, liability insurance makes sense when you don't have a whole lot of like safety nets for certain stupid things that might happen.
Yeah.
Like traffic, uh, construction in the US, how there's constantly like six dudes standing around a manhole doing nothing and somebody holding the stop sign and a
Yep.
slow sign, a stop sign, and a slow sign. You don't have that here at all. Like like when there's construction, there's just like a part of the road that's like blocked off, and you just figure it out.
Well, and it isn't
That's it.
it isn't completely like that in the US. There are places where they get it done. Like they shut everything down at night and they just bust ass. And they're like, okay, we're gonna do like 2 miles tonight, close the entire highway down, reroute
Mhm.
traffic and whatnot, get her done, and then open it up in the morning. Like, I'd like to see more of that. Thank you. None of this like, oh, we're gonna do construction during rush hour.
Right.
Like that should be illegal. I mean, think about it too. It's like even from like an eco standpoint, cars just sitting there idling like that is
Yeah.
very inefficient. That's that like the emissions are a huge problem at that point. If traffic's moving, it's not that bad. Like you want traffic to be moving, 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. That's where cars are most efficient. And but just sitting there taking like, instead of a 30-minute commute, it's like 2.5 hours. And most of
Yeah.
that is idling. Well, there's no way that that is better for the environment.
Yeah.
Uh, but yet that's what they do.
Yeah. Now that's the same here. Like there's almost nothing going on in the middle of the night in Germany. Um,
Mhm.
like bars are open almost all night. That's
Mhm.
about the only difference. But
I mean, that's
um,
cool.
yeah.
That's my
But as far as
proposal.
like a regular store, like it's apparently gotten quite a bit later recently, but just a number of years ago, for instance, a lot of places would be closed by 6 p.m. or something, like
Mhm.
talking about grocery stores and stuff.
Yeah.
And everything is closed on Sunday except for entertainment and restaurants and stuff like that.
There's like a religious connection there, I think, right? With the church.
Um,
Or
it
like
kind of
historically.
started that way. It's more of like a kind of talk about obligatory stuff. It's obligatory rest and relaxation, really.
And
Like you're not
I'm
even
you know
allowed to
what?
like make noise or mow your lawn or anything.
Yeah.
Like
If
Sunday is peace day. Like you
if
just chill.
and I'm fine with that. Like if somebody's like, "Hey, you can't work this day. You're not allowed to." I'd be like, "Hey, cool. All right. I'll mess around, play some video games. I don't know, work on some projects or something."
Mm,
Cool. Awesome.
yeah.
Like it's a good idea. Like we shouldn't be like full tilt, red hot, maximum high power all the time.
Yeah.
Uh, we got to take a break, and that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, I something popped into my head too. Speaking about like the medical side of things, um, everybody's got their thoughts about the current administration in the U.S. However, one thing that they did or are in the process of doing um, is part of a bill. Well, maybe it already passed. I don't know. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to stuff like that. But to mandate that you go like hospitals and doctors' offices and stuff have to post the price of everything. Like
Mm,
which it's like, yeah, yeah, that makes sense. I
yeah.
how are we not doing that? How are customers coming and not being like, what the fuck? There's no prices.
Right.
Imagine going to McDonald's and there's the menu up on the back wall there, but no prices.
Mm.
And like you're like, well, how much is that cheeseburger? And they're like, well, we'll tell you after we make it.
What's your cheeseburger copay?
Yeah, 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 exactly. You got to provide some special card for cheeseburgers and stuff. Well, yeah, like that's I think that's a good thing. That's a step in the right direction to
Yeah.
be like, hey, because otherwise they're gonna like hem and haw about things. They're gonna like be like, oh, well, that person looks like they make a little bit more money. Maybe we'll just charge a little bit more because it's all a black box. Nobody knows until it's already done. Like,
Yeah.
no, I want to know beforehand what is the cost? You should go to the hospital, and there should be like a menu board that says, all the common stuff and the prices. Like, how is that controversial?
It makes you wonder if they're having some kind of shorthand in their notes that, like, oh, this person has like a really good paying job, we can charge them more or something.
Yep.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised about
No, that's absolutely
it
what
like that.
happens. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, my brother for a while, he didn't have insurance and had to pay cash, so out of pocket for everything. And he had some kind of ear thing. He had to go to the doctor, and he asked like a pretty fundamentally simple question of like, well, how much is it going to cost me because I'm paying cash? And they're like, well, we don't really know. I'm like, well, okay, if you don't know beforehand, how do you know afterwards? Like, there has to be a process by which you arrive at a price. Okay. So maybe before the process begins, you know, I don't see how you can't go backwards, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's all, like, all this government regulation and fucking red tape and bureaucracy and bullshit. Like, you know, ugh, it's infuriating. I'll say that.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, well, you have to participate in this system that it's so good, right? Who wouldn't want to? Uh, like, well, I mean, it isn't comparing to like the Middle Ages, it's not bad, but it isn't that much better. You know? Like, we could be so much better. This is something I say all the time. Like, we have the technology, we have the resources. Why are we not doing these things like fill like filling this container to its maximum? We have the possibility. Like, uh,
Yeah.
very annoying.
Another health difference that I've noticed here is almost, well, I don't want to say almost everybody, but like a lot of people smoke.
Yeah.
And that's something you kind of don't see anymore in the US.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because like you can go to the store and get cigarettes, right? The cigarettes are just right there at the cash register, but they all have these gnarly, gruesome pictures of people with like giant pus-filled tumors and like blood and like dead babies and stuff, and like and that's like plastered all over your cigarettes, and it's apparently not working worth a shit to deter
Well,
it.
I'll tell you why not. Because, like, from a government standpoint, they think, oh, well, we'll horrify people as to the potential effects of consuming this product. Well, no. Now now people are like, yeah, look at me, I'm fucking smoking. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, look at this shit. I'm taking a chance, a gamble. I'm a
Well, all
tough
the
guy.
non-smoking sensitive people are like being disgusted each and every time they go to the store to buy food. It's
Oh
like,
yeah, good point. Yeah.
like, like
Oh
that
man.
really is like, I have an iron stomach, but I can recognize how stupid that is. Like,
Yeah, it's totally
that's
stupid. Like,
that's one of the more moronic things that I see here. That and having to pay to pee out in public. Like, ugh,
what?
I hate that.
Pay to pee.
Yeah. Like,
How does
if
that
you
work?
go to a gas station on the highway, like you have to put a euro into the little turnstile thing, and then you'll get a little coupon to get like a euro off of whatever you want to buy there.
Mm-hmm.
And but I mean, in exchange, they keep the bathrooms like pretty clean. One cool
Okay.
thing, the bathroom stalls, there's none of this like stupid gap at the bottom and the top where you can see each other's feet or their heads or
you,
something. Like, it's just
I
like floor to ceiling, like you have
good.
your own little closet to shit in.
I like. My recommendation is for everybody to watch the Ryan George sketch about that, about the brainstorming team figuring out how to make bathroom stalls and stuff. It's hilarious because it all comes down to like one guy saying like, well, I just kind of want to look at people. What if the gap was like bigger, you know? It's like, yeah, you're right. What the fuck?
No, I'm going to look at you.
Yeah. I'm fine with paying for like a clean bathroom. I think that's all right. Um, Maybe that would be good. Um,
There should be some kind of like emergency override though. Like maybe
yeah.
like you just pee on it a little bit and it opens. It's like
Like
I
you
really
pee
gotta pee
pants.
here.
There's a peed pants detector that's like, oh, yeah, oh, this is really happening. This is actually an emergency. Yeah, it- well, and I could see, speaking of pay to pee, like I could also see companies, locations that have bathrooms like metering out toilet paper. So it's like you got to put coins in to get a certain amount of toilet. Oh, and they make it single ply, of course. Um,
Oh, God.
Single ply should be treason. Like it should not be just like, oh, that's a oopsie, or well, I don't like that. No, this should be high treason. You should be shot by a firing squad, hung, or something like that. If anybody produces, like if they manufacture, distribute, or possess single ply toilet paper, it needs to be a fucking national crime.
I
Um,
think the lowest I've seen here is 3-ply. You can get 4. I think I've even seen 5.
wow, that's kind of
Like
nuts. Like
it's
two ply is perfectly acceptable. Well, like
yeah.
because what happens too? Because these companies think like, oh, we're going to save a buck by having the single ply toilet paper, and the second I pull out single ply, I realize, oh yeah, I'm going to need a hell of a lot more of that. So I
Mhm.
pull tons of it out and
Yeah.
like roll it up, and like, okay, now that's good enough. Now there's not going to be any kind of like pass through. Um, like just do two ply. What do companies think? It's like there's a bunch of cats that are going to get in and do that with the roll or something.
Oh, that's one other difference here. The hole in the toilets is in the front
hmm.
instead of the back.
Huh.
And there's like an observation deck that
This, it is Germany after all. I mean, I will
yeah.
say go to Pornhub or someplace like that, and you'll see. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that could be where that originated from.
it could be. Yeah, I don't have a problem with the Germans, but I will say they're more sexually deviant than I am, and well, statistically speaking, let's say, not any given person, of course.
Well, it's interesting. I have noticed I would like one cultural difference, I suppose, is that I don't really notice a lot of public displays of affection in
Hmm.
Germany. Like it's not common to see obvious couples, um,
Interesting.
much romance at all. Like every now and then you'll see somebody kissing or something, but it is nowhere near as ubiquitous as in the US. Like,
Oh
um,
yeah, yeah, it's pretty commonplace in the U.S.
yeah.
I mean, at the very least, people holding hands and whatnot.
Yeah, to the point where like I almost wonder if is it a culture thing or a generational thing? Like maybe just kids these days aren't really so interested in pairing up and all
Well,
that stuff.
that actually is true in the U.S. too.
Mm,
Um, like, there's more of a trend towards just hookup. Like, oh, you just hook up and you just don't date
huh.
at all, which is kind of weird. Gotta
Yeah.
say, like, I don't know where that's coming from, but
Hmm.
The future is going to be interesting. I'll say that.
It will be.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, one super cool thing here is they're called Rollos. Like basically like you remember the 1989 Batman movie when he was like shields and then the Batmobiles is like
Yep.
like
That was
all
such a cool.
these things just roll over all the windows and everything and the wheels and stuff. All the windows here are like that, you know, like
I there's a house down the road that has that. Like they're externally mounted, but yeah,
yeah,
it's like shutters that go down over the
yep.
windows. These are automated, I think. There's some motorized thing.
Yeah, you
But
can get those here. They're just more
that's kind of
expensive, but
cool.
super cool.
I like that idea.
Like if I had that back in the day when I was working graveyard, I actually could have slept because you can just make it pitch black. Like
Yep.
it's so nice.
And it also is a security thing too. Like at
Security,
night,
yes.
windows, you can't go, well, hey,
Extra protection during a
a
crazy
storm.
storm.
Yeah.
Like it even helps with
Thermal barrier
thermal. Yep.
too. Yeah.
hmm Yeah,
That's
if
a,
the sun is banging in your windows, just fucking put the Rollo down.
yeah,
Like,
no, that's good. I like that.
hmm I like if I ever moved back to the US, I would fucking buy a bunch of those and have them shipped over so I could just install them on whatever house I want. You know, like,
Well, they do make them in the US, so you wouldn't have to have them shipped
oh,
over,
really?
but it isn't that common
Hmm.
to be like stock installed in a house. Why don't we talk about that for a second too?
Yeah.
About houses.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
why, pray tell, does not every bathroom have a urinal? Why
Hmm.
is there not a urinal and a toilet in every bathroom? Because
Extra
you,
plumbing, I guess. But
well, yeah, there's that, but
I
like, I
mean,
mean,
you
that's
could technically design a toilet that has like a little fold up cover or something that you can just stand and pee against the back of the toilet or something. But
well, yeah, you can also pee in the sink. So,
right.
so I do that on the well, I probably shouldn't say that, but I do that on the regular because it's efficient. Like it doesn't. I'm just peeing. I don't need to dump all that water for just for that. It's like I'll run the sink so it doesn't splatter all over the place for a couple seconds and pee into the sink, and there we go. It's like a urinal. Like kind of stupid that I got to do that, but it saves water. Um,
I mean, there is like it's pretty ubiquitous here to have like the dual flush
yeah,
mode,
yeah, that's
and
becoming more common.
you can like stop the flush,
Oh,
which I don't
weird.
think you can do on American toilets at all.
No, no, but there are the dual flush toilets.
Hmm.
They're not as proliferant, but they're out there.
Yeah,
Um,
and the plumbing is quite different on toilets. Like I don't know, it's more robust. Like uh,
mm.
my wife and stepdaughter just like throw everything in the toilet and just flush it. I'm like, oh, that's totally gonna come right back up. And they're like, no, it's not. It's just
Yeah,
like
in the
it
US,
just
if you
goes.
put like a paper towel down the toilet, it's clogged. Like, and you're like,
Oh
oh,
yeah,
I'll
like
bust out the
the
plunger.
paper towels all day. Like
Huh,
it's crazy.
weird.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Mhm.
interesting. Another thing.
I accidentally put a rubber glove in the toilet and flushed it. And I was like, oh shit, that was a rubber glove. And it just like went and I was like, oh, okay. Like no problem, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like I don't
Oh,
know what it is about US toilets that are just like, let's squeeze everything into like a tube this big now. Like
yeah. Well, and it
they're
probably
just
comes.
huge fucking tubes here. Yeah.
It harkens back to a time when they built things differently, I guess. Um, another thing that about houses that I don't get: why is not every single house built with a sprinkler system, like a fire suppression system, like by default?
I've wondered that too. But I think it has something to do with the water damage potential,
But
like
you have to do it for commercial places, so apartment complexes and stuff. They're required to have that. Um, so why not a regular house? Like, you know what? If the
it's
sprinkler busts open and puts out a fire and gets a few things wet, um,
I don't remember exactly. Is it just in the hallways though with apartment
I
buildings?
think it. I don't know. I'd have to
I
look at
don't think
the
it's
code
allowed to
stuff.
be in the apartment rooms itself. Or
I think it
I don't know,
has to be.
maybe it is now.
Yeah, I think it has to be. But like, still, why not? Why
Hmm.
isn't that a thing that people want? Because like, okay, fires are pretty rare,
Yeah.
but when they do happen, it's sort of an extraordinary situation that like, well, there's not a lot you can do about that. Yeah, you got the fire department, but they're minutes away, if not more. Um, and by then, shit's already burned. Whereas if a sprinkler popped off, like, okay, yeah, problem solved. I just grab your mop, you know, and some paper
Hmm.
towels. If fortunately, if you're in Germany, apparently you could take those paper towels and the whole mop and flush it down a toilet.
Well, also, like, imagine if you had a sprinkler in your kitchen and you had a grease fire, and then the sprinkler goes off, and all of a sudden, fire just shooting everywhere. Like,
Yeah, that you would not want that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's why I have one of those fire blankets in the kitchen. So if there is something like that, it's fiberglass. You just kind of toss it over and puts the fire out. Everybody should have one. By the way, they're like 20, $30. Get one because, like, well, if you have a grease fire, hmm, uh, you would happily pay $20 to have that taken care of.
yeah, houses here are made really well, though.
Mm-hmm.
They're all built out of stone, kind of like a stucco exterior.
Mm-hmm.
The interior walls are stone, so it's like even when a house burns, it just kind of burns on the inside, and
It's kind of a good
the
idea.
structure is basically intact.
It is. It does kind of baffle me, like thinking about like building codes in the U.S. And I have a lot of friends who bought houses that are relatively new, and they're built like shit. You know, my house built in, I don't know, the early 1900s. This thing is solid. Like everything is solid. It's like structurally robust.
yeah,
And you look at like modern houses, like OSB everywhere. Things are sort of half-assed, and then they use PEX. Like, fuck that shit. Stainless steel pipes. Fuck PEX. I have my own experiences with that contaminate my thoughts. But yeah, why not build things to a higher standard?
yeah.
Um,
Like
there's a
like roofs, they last like 50 years here.
yeah. Why are not they made of metal, like stainless steel, or why aren't they made of like solar panels? Why are they these like asphalt fucking sandpaper panel things that yeah.
Yeah,
Ugh.
here they're more like, I guess you would call them uh, like in Old Town Tacoma. I think you can actually see these. They're kind of like these half tube sort of shingle
Yeah, yeah.
things, but
It's I think it's made of clay.
yeah.
So it's like essentially clay or
Hmm.
ceramic or something like that. This ceramic pieces like that will last hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. Why is it that like we have this shitty ass stuff
Yeah.
that barely lasts 10? Like, I don't get it.
You can stretch it to 30, but
Yeah, yeah, you
you'll
can.
probably have to patch leaks here and there. And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was
And
surprised that, my wife was like, eventually we'll have to change the roof. It's I don't know, maybe 30, 40 years old. We've got another 10 or 20 years on it. And I was like,
Jesus. Oh
okay.
man. I guess it's different, like design philosophy, probably. Like I and I don't want people to get the impression that I think this should be government mandated. No, it should be a thing that we as consumers expect, right? Like I'm going to spend 400, 500, $600,000 on a house. It better be built to a really high standard.
Yeah.
Like but I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, I guess they half-assed and bodged a bunch of shit in here and there, and like, oh yeah, parts of the roof are a little iffy and whatnot, and the foundation's kind of cracking a little, but it's $600,000, and you should be happy with that. Nope. I will not accept that, and nobody else should. This goes back to like we have the resources. There's no excuse for things to be built shitty. There's no excuse, and there's no reason people should accept shit. Like we should not accept it. Like just don't buy it. Right?
You know, one thing I've always thought would be really smart for building houses, and as far as I know, this isn't done anywhere, but maybe make like, well, like in Star Trek, they've got the Jeffries tubes and stuff, right? Like there should be access panels to get in to work on plumbing and electrical. And
yep.
And plumbing and electrical, unless there's some reason this couldn't be done, wouldn't it be nice if like the electrical was like in pieces so that like, you know, there's like connectors every so often. So if there's a bad wire, you just change out like a section of wire rather than like tearing apart the whole fucking house.
No, there's no reason why there couldn't be those things. And I actually developed many years ago when I was a younger man. I developed a modular house construction concept that was kind of like Legos, like these blocks that bolted together on all sides, and you had panels that magnetically connected to form walls. And so, like, you could just pull a panel off and get into it. And it's like, oh, you want to expand the house or move a window? You just undo some bolts and move it around. Like they're all uniform blocks. So like I'd like to see more of that. But again, it goes back to government bureaucracy. It's like, oh, well, this is the only way we can do it. And everybody, you all got to do it. Like, well, why can't we experiment? Why can't we have like novel new concepts come to the table that might end up being better? Like, why are we still doing things like it's the 1800s? Well, I don't understand that. And we're not even doing it as good as they did in the 1800s too, by the way. We're like LARPing. Like, there was a housing concept, and I'd love to see this come back again. After World War II, the boomer generation, like, and suburbia being crafted, there was a need for more housing, and a lot of it was manufactured housing that would be trucked in, but also there's one remaining to my knowledge, but it was sort of an experimental thing, that was like a flat pack steel house that came as like a kit. And it harkens back to what Sears used to sell back in the day. Like they would truck in a whole house kit, and then there's instructions and this and that, and you as the future resident of this house, you assemble it yourself. But they had these steel houses that we're like, it's kind of a good idea. It's
Yeah.
very efficient. They're solid. Like abs. The only thing you have to worry about is corrosion. Um, but we can fix that now with different metallurgy. But even then, it's like they were solid, they were cheap, they were easy to assemble, um, and you had a whole fucking house. Also, hey, instead of tacks, you want to stick something to the wall like a poster, use magnets. Like, oh, magnets, how the fuck do they work? But I'd
Yeah.
love to see more of that, like ingenuity and new ideas being explored rather than like, oh, well, this is the way our grandparents did things. So this is the way we got to do things now. I think
Yep.
that's kind of nonsense.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Though it's like you put it on a scale, there are definitely things that older generations had right that we should preserve, but also we should be forward thinking and allow ourselves to evolve.
Yep.
Like it, yeah.
Well, I guess one other major point of or realm of differences would probably be the driving in Germany. That took some getting used to. The roads are quite a bit more narrow than they are in the US. And
Yeah, that is one
so
thing the US has going for it is big wide roads
yeah.
for the most
So
part.
there's more etiquette that you have to,
Well,
like often you have to like kind of pull over as far as you can and let somebody kind of like drive up on the sidewalk next to you, and there's constantly like this much room between you and the oncoming driver's car mirror. Like it like there's a little hump of anxiety that you have to get over, and
well,
now I'm
and
just like whoosh, like whizzing
maybe
past
that's a
cars.
good thing that it causes you to take a moment to consider
Hmm.
things. I've always thought that there should not be a driver's airbag in the steering wheel. The airbag should be the steering column with an explosive charge behind it, so it impales you if you get in an accident. Now I know that's kind of extreme. However, guaranteed every driver would be super gracious and super cautious. Like, okay, well, I do not want to bump anybody. Um, oh, well, in speaking of that, it could be worse. You could be living in Italy where the roads are even narrower, but they have even faster cars.
Right.
Like, oh yeah, V12s all day long and shit. And you got these like bike roads that cars are driving on. Italians
all,
are fucking nuts, man. I tell you.
all the cars here are a lot smaller too, so um,
That actually, that's a really good point that we should bring up. Like that is, I mean, I'm a guy that has a full size pickup truck, but I also have a Scion XB, and I used to drive a Geo Metro. Like small cars, we need to that needs to happen more in the
yeah.
US. Like the whole K car thing in Japan, these little tiny vehicles that are hyper efficient, space wise and fuel wise. Like we need more of that,
Mm,
and like that. This is where government could do something good. Government could come in and give you a massive tax break if you bought something like a K car, like a 3-cylinder vehicle or a 3-wheeled vehicle or something. Like you would get this huge tax break.
didn't
To
Obama have something like that?
well, yeah, and even the current administration is entertaining something similar, but it's not going to happen. It won't happen because I guess Trump is like in love with K cars. So he's like, we need to bring these to the U.S. Uh, it needs to happen. It'll be beautiful. Um, and okay, I agree. We need that. Like scooters, that has to be a thing. scooters, three-wheeled vehicles, tiny cars. Like, why not? If you're just driving from one place to another, you don't need anything bigger. And while I don't want to say, well, government should mandate those things, okay, but what they could do is incentivize people by being like, hey, if you buy yourself a K car, no tabs, it's free. Like, you just up your tabs and it costs you nothing, or maybe like $1 or something, because that would, people be like, oh, hell yeah, you know. And I don't know, but the problem, I guess, in the US is we have so much volume, so much space, that people are like, oh, well, whatever.
Yeah.
I just buy myself a even bigger pickup truck. Or, oh, the Escalade, there's the newer one that's even bigger than the last one. I'm going to buy myself fucking Humvee for a daily driver. Like,
Every
why?
now and then you'll see a pickup truck here, and I have no idea why anyone would want that, because it must be so incredibly difficult to drive on these narrow roads with something so big. And
That's why the only reason you'd have that is work. Like,
yeah,
whatever thing you do for a living requires that you be able to haul some stuff. But no, why don't we downsize a little bit? I think that's a good thing. Tiny
there,
houses, that's another
there
thing.
are some there are some rules of the road that I don't know that I'm so cool with, though. Um, what One of them is that there's no free right turn at all
Huh.
on a red. So I got honked out a couple times before I realized that, oh, that's not allowed here. Okay.
That is kind of dumb.
Now with I guess now that I've driven more often in Germany and seen that, a lot of the road design would make it dangerous to have something like that.
And that makes
Um,
sense because, like, okay, to compare the US to Germany or Europe at large, um,
it's much newer.
well, yeah. So in the US, we generally have 90-degree, like, perpendicular roads, everything's straight lines for the most part.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of these older countries, they were not car roads in the past. There were like horses and people walking. So they
Mm.
don't always line up at good angles.
Yeah.
So it does make sense.
But
Uh,
the other one that, I mean, this is technically the same in the US, but I think it's handled a little bit more cautiously in the US. And that's
mm-hmm.
that person on the right always has the right of way,
Mm-hmm.
like always. So
Yeah.
there's actually not a lot of stop signs in Germany at all. There's
Huh.
just uncontrolled intersections. And every now and then on a main road, you'll have like this yellow sign that says you don't have to stop for people on the right.
Mm-hmm.
And then they kind of have to yield, I guess. But the problem I see with that is, going back to the free right turn thing, the visibility is total shit almost everywhere. So if somebody is coming up on your right and they're just like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep going because whoever's on my left, whatever, it's gonna be their fault.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll just come out of nowhere super fast. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa. Um,
Ugh.
and I mean, I guess that makes the argument for like slow down at every intersection, but I mean, that's not always like practical either.
No, it's not. And it's also not efficient too. If you want
Yeah.
to get across town and you have to, like, be wary anytime there's an intersecting road.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
I've always been that kind of cautious driver at
yeah, same here.
uncontrolled intersections. Like many of my friends would just like
Yeah.
speed right through them. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I'm the one that's gonna get hit here.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. And they're like, exactly. It's you. I don't have to worry.
Mhm.
Oh man, you do one cool thing that Germany has that the US doesn't have. You have the Nürburgring,
Yeah.
which you gotta drive it. Uh,
I I do actually because my dad really wanted to do that. Like,
mhm.
yeah, even though his health obviously precluded any chance of visiting me here, but he was always like, "Yeah, if I ever come to visit you, I want to go to the Nuremberg."
Yep.
I was like, so I think I should do that once in my life, just for dad, you
You
know.
should. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, maybe I'll come visit, and I'll have to go by boat, but I'll get there eventually,
Yeah.
and partake in that because yeah, it's really really cool. We don't. It's kind of weird. Like the U.S., you would think, everybody like freedom, independence, blah blah blah. Like we don't have anything quite like that. Yeah, there are private racetracks you can go on, but they just go around a loop or whatever. It's kind of boring. But the Nurburgring is a whole course, like a whole like. There are rules, of course, but you can go as fast as you want, and that's awesome. That's so awesome. And I've watched a lot of videos from various people, and you have cars that are average, run of the mill, just like four-cylinder cars, and then you've got like really expensive ones with huge engines and stuff. Everybody all sort of driving around together. Uh, it looks cool. You got to do it.
Now the autobahn, um
Mm-hmm.
it, it doesn't really have like the no speed limit in the way that it used to.
Yeah,
They're
yeah, I know.
implementing speed limits more often.
It's getting
Um,
more crowded too, so they
there's
have to.
there's chunks though where you can go as fast as you want, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I've gone up to maybe like 180 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Is that
but
kilometers or miles?
kilometers, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it's like
um, yeah, I don't know.
it's
That's
still
probably like
fast though.
90 or something.
It's still pretty fast. Yeah.
um, but one kind of annoying thing is that when there is a change in the speed limits, all of a sudden, like instead of no speed limit, it'll be 120, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then like you start putting the brake on, and then before you even got down to 120, now it's 80. And it's like, well, that came quick.
Yeah.
And then like as soon as you get back down to 80, then it's like, okay, 120 again. And it's like, what are you fucking with me?
Probably.
And like it's not such a big deal because traffic infractions are actually dirt cheap.
Hmm.
Um and it's almost all camera based and stuff. Um which I think is not really doing much to deter
No.
speeding.
No, and
um
we've talked about the concept of tickets and fines scaling with income.
mhm.
Like
But
it,
also the idea of like cameras versus actual
uh,
cops like pulling people over.
yeah, yeah, cameras can't understand context.
Can't,
Um,
yeah, can't understand context, and it's also super fucking lazy. It's like,
yeah.
like you're not inconvenienced in that moment, so
Mm,
there's not really a like a psychological link to create a an oopsie moment with that
mhm.
particular moment, right? Like you just get it like 2 weeks later in the
It just
mail,
comes
like,
in the
oh
mail,
shit,
yeah.
you know.
No, that's a good point. And that, like, if the intent is deterrence, it should be inconvenience for
Hmm.
the the person you're wanting to deter from some kind of activity. Um, It should be a hassle, right? Like, otherwise, what's the point? Just
Yeah.
revenue generation, which is, I will say, largely how governments operate nowadays. It's all about just extracting as much cash as they can from people, um, as if like we're just a machine working for their benefit, for the system's benefit. Like, hey, if you want a world where you're a human battery, that's how you get a world like that.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, I think I've almost exhausted the list, but that's probably the big ones, I'd say. Um,
Yeah, I would like,
oh,
I wouldn't.
one other driving one that's super cool. The
Mhm.
yellow light is before and after the green. So since
Yep.
almost all the cars here are manual, it's really nice to know, oh, it's about to turn green. I better put it into gear. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's super cool. I love that.
That definitely important.
Mhm.
And I here in the US though, there's this new trend, at least kind of locally to where I'm at, um, for left turn lanes and signals to not turn green when your direction turns green. It stays red. You get greens on the this way and oops and that way. Um, and then you sit there and then you get a flashing yellow. So it's like, hey, if it's safe, you can turn left now. But if you stay there, let's say there's a lot of cars and you can't go, eventually you get a turn arrow. Um, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's great. Like,
There aren't enough turn arrows here. I will say that. Like that would really help um traffic flow a lot.
mhm.
Um that and uh, it's too many roundabouts.
Roundabouts. Well, and see, I'm actually kind of a fan of roundabouts, although I do accept their vulnerabilities and
Yeah, I
the
mean, like the
downside.
right place, like they
Mhm.
have their place, but if you just
Yeah,
put them like anywhere,
yeah,
um,
that's
just instead of having
stupid.
an intersection or a light or something like
Mhm.
that, that's totally dumb because like it might improve traffic flow for one direction, but then every other direction is just assed out because there's this constant flow of cars
Yep,
being dicks and not leaving any room.
yep, yeah, exactly. And now you as the person entering the roundabout has to yield to
Mhm.
whoever's in it. Uh,
Yeah.
like, yeah, there's definitely places where roundabouts would be super beneficial, but yeah, just putting them willy nilly, higgledy piggledy anywhere.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
totally stupid.
constantly getting honked at when I enter roundabouts because like if I see a space, I just fucking take it and I'm like, yeah, you're not gonna hit me, right? Like so
Yeah. Well, I guess the upside, regardless, is that like if an accident does occur, it will occur at a fairly low velocity. So there's that, right?
yeah. But yeah,
I just,
it's just yeah, with like an intersection, unless you're like running a red at a crazy fast speed, like you didn't even see it or something, you're never really having that situation anyway, right?
yeah, yeah,
Um,
in theory.
yeah, because like if you run a red like right as it's changed or something, any car that's just started is not going that fast.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, like but
Well, my thought is the best place for roundabouts to exist: freeway on and off ramps. Because what I notice, and this is something I pay attention to all the time is traffic and how drivers behave. It's like this kind of psychological thought experiment kind of thing that I always go through because I drive for a living, sort of. It one of the problems, one of the things that creates clogs in traffic on the highways and freeways is that the ramps leading up to those particular roads are traffic lights, like regular lights. So the light turns red, a bunch of cars stack up, then the light turns green, and they all flow onto the road as one giant plug. Well, that creates problems because now they're all merging, a whole bunch of cars merging at the same time. Nobody even knows how to merge to begin with. This is the thing about road design that I will always say is like, you can't build roads off expectation. You have to build roads off of like reality, how things are. And fact is, most drivers are idiots. So if you build roads assuming everybody's an idiot, you'll build a good road. But no, they build roads assuming everybody's a saint. Everybody's following the rules. They even know all the rules. They don't.
I'd like to see a picture of how that would work though, because I can't imagine how that would improve anything again, except for maybe like the main flow.
Well, the benefit there with a roundabout at those particular intersections is that cars come as they do. They never pile up and come out as like a pack of cars. They just go as they're driving, essentially. So they're more spaced out. That's well, spaced out spatially, not in their heads.
Isn't that kind of the theory behind the whole like green red
it is
back and forth thing,
yep,
which
yep.
also doesn't work that great.
Doesn't really work that great because they have a traffic light before that, so they pack them in and then they do these light things, which is the problem with that is that's timed. So some genius decided like, oh, here's the interval that we're going to flip back and forth or whatever. We're going to turn it green. We're going to turn it red. Oh, and then, we've got this other lane for carpools, which is hardly enforced. So who the fuck knows what's going on there? Better if you just had a roundabout. It's a passive system. Like you don't have to program anything. There doesn't have to be anything at all.
Constant flow coming out of a roundabout, it would be just like it wouldn't be spaced out at all.
Well, yeah, and I don't.
Depending on the
traffic. It depends. It depends on where it's placed, but I think that would be a better way than the way we're doing it now, which is like, oh, we have this super expensive intersection with all these signals and sensors and all this shit, and then we have another one after that that to compensate for the shortcomings of the first one. Like, oh, well, why don't we just have a big ass roundabout? What's the problem there?
Has it been done anywhere?
Not to my knowledge. Probably, if it has been, it's probably been done in the UK.
It's probably hard to implement in many places just because like that would like you need a good runway also to get up to speed before you get on.
Well, and that's one of the problems too with the double signal system is that like so they're retroactively installing the red and green, like you can go onto the freeway lights. So yeah, there used to be a long ramp to build up speed, but now it's truncated because you build up speed, but then you go to this light and you sit there and wait for your light to turn green. Then you only have like a quarter of that to somehow pick up speed enough to get into the freeway safely. And that's something too that if cops are going to pull people over for speed infractions, I am 100% on board with pulling people over for going too fucking slow on an on ramp. I,
Yeah.
when I took driver's ed back in '96, um, it that they didn't we didn't get to do freeway driving, but that was covered. And one of the things the instructor brought up is, hey, okay, when you're entering the freeway on a ramp, you need to speed up. So you're going faster than the traffic that you see adjacent to you as you're entering the freeway. And then you slow into traffic. But what we see is people who are going like 40 miles an hour when traffic's going like 70. And they're like puttering along, 2 and 10. Okay, that is not safe. You need to haul ass up
Yeah.
that ramp or down that ramp or whatever. So you're going faster than they are. You need to be going like 90. And then you get up, you find your spot, you target that spot as you like. I don't know why it's such a confusing thing for people to wrap their heads around. It's very simple. You you're like, okay, you're getting on the freeway. You can see the cars. So you find whatever spot you want and you target that and you aim for it. And that's your spot. But you have to go in fast and then slow down. Not because it's way easier to slow down than it is to speed up in most cars.
I mean, I've always been decent at seeing an opening and just getting up to it, matching the speed, and then
Yeah.
moving in. Like, I don't have
Yep.
to go faster. I just see something and calculate how fast I need to go to land there,
And,
basically.
and you could do that too. It also it requires the other drivers to facilitate your entry into that. Because a lot of times I'm coming in and there's some asshole who like they speed up or something because they're like, well, I don't want this fucker to get ahead of me. And I'm like, what?
I,
What
I
is the
think that's
consequence of that?
I think that's because people misunderstand the concept of passing on the right. They think that that means like you can't come up on a lane to the right of another car and pass them, but that's not really what that means.
Well, I think
Passing
it's
on the right
more.
is about like going around a car within the same lane.
I don't think the rationale stems from a bureaucratic source. I think it's more like people don't want somebody to be ahead of them, like cut them off. Essentially, it's like, oh, it's a slap to your balls or ego or something like that. Like, and to me, I think, well, being dead kind of sucks, doesn't it? Like, you're kind of a pansy if you're dead. So let somebody in, make a little bit of room. Like,
Look at that loser. He can't breathe anymore.
that has to be a sketch. We got to make that. Oh, man.
Handsy.
Oh man. Well, but I think that's one of the things, like a driving force there is that the people driving, they don't want to leave room. They're like, oh, well, if you're going to get in, you're going to get in behind me, which like, are you an ass man at that point in time? You want somebody to be up on your ass, huh?
Like there's always someone in front of you.
Yeah.
It
I mean,
doesn't
open
matter.
your eyes and look at the road. Well,
Yeah.
what is in front of you? Other cars.
That's one thing that is completely the same here in Germany is
Yeah.
that mentality.
Mm-hmm.
BMW drivers are exactly the same.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they don't use the factory installed turn indicators.
They have installed turn indicators.
It's always a question.
Huh. I don't remember those when I had my BMW.
No, I think it's a myth. Oh man. Well, I guess it goes to show no matter where you go, it's kind of the same as where you are, really. Like, yeah, there's superficial differences, um, for the most part.
Wherever you go, there you are.
Yeah. Oh, I should have been wearing that shirt. Shit. Yeah.
Well, I
I,
should probably get going. I gotta prepare for a colonoscopy.
oh, zippity doo dah. That's going to be a fun time, isn't it? Are you doing it conscious?
They call it a twilight sleep. Profanol.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, you should totally like live stream that and do it conscious and yeah.
Like Katie Couric.
Yeah.
She's better looking.
Okay, well, I'll agree with that. Oh man. Well, yeah, this is pretty good discussion for sure.
Yeah.
Kind of all over the map, literally.
Mm. Yeah.
Well,
Well, yeah, thanks for deep sink diving into the differences between Germany and the US.
yep. And we'll skip a week, so
Yeah, that's right.
it'll be not next Sunday, but the Sunday after that. We'll
Yeah.
be back aboard, and yeah,
Not
hopefully you
because of the
join
colonoscopy. I'm not that much of a wuss that I'm like, oh, I need a week off from my asshole.
us. Oh man, good times, good times. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Well, see y'all next week.